Right. These are the days of our life. You know, Marco and I, when we're riding over the South Downs, sometimes we look at each other and we say, days of our lives. And these really are the days of our lives. For me, you know, it just doesn't get any better than this. It is just fantastic. You know, here we are, a group of such really good friends in this lovely country, riding our bikes, and it is the days of our lives. It is fantastic, and I just love it. And I've talked to a lot of you guys, and we've all been around doing lots of cycling trips, but the general consensus, in fact, I haven't heard anybody say anything other than that this is the very, very best cycling trip that any of us have ever been on. And that is absolutely certainly the case for me. And you know, I go back to Marco's original speech at the start of this, when he talked about the trials and hardships of the pilgrims on their way to on the Camino Trail to
San Jacob de Compostela.
Thank you. And then we talked about Eugène Christophe, the great Tour de France rider around the time of the First World War, and the hardships he endured. White pilgrims trekked over the Pyrenees to the place that reminded me of the name of. And then we talked about the great legend of the tour, Eugène Christophe. This guy, you know, you remember the story, he's actually in the lead in the Tour de France. And in these days, they're not allowed to have any help at all. And they come to the Pyrenees, and he's done about 5 major climbs. And he comes to the Tour, and he gets to the top and stops descending on his Peugeot bike, his sponsor bike Peugeot, and the forks break, and this guy is in the lead. And what he does, it's pouring with rain, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, because this was like 24 hours. They had no to, you know, they could go on whenever they wanted. And he runs down the mountain for about 10 k's in this pouring rain, and he finds the local blacksmith's place. He wakes up the blacksmith, gets the forge working, and he repairs his forks himself. And unfortunately, the apprentice to the blacksmith is there, and he operates the bellows. And because this guy has been alleged to have had a system, because somebody has operated the bellows to keep the forge going, while he himself prepared his own forge, he's given this massive time penalty. But Eugène Christophe, despite all this, he's back on his bike, and now he's hours behind the leader. But he continues to Tour de France. And that is the spirit of, you know, riding pilgrims. So, you know, our hardships have been minuscule in relation to these guys, but nevertheless, in our own way, each of us, in our own way, we have conquered the Pyrenees. You know, we've done it, we set out to do what we did. And, you know, full mark to all of us for that. Now, as I said, this has been the trip of a lifetime, for me certainly. And there's so many people to thank for making this possible. Now, I can't mention everybody by name, but as always on these occasions, you pick out a few names. And the first person I'd like to pick out is Dave. Dave, my friend, you have been such a tower of strength. You've been absolutely unflappable. You've taken everything in your stride. Nothing has been too much trouble for you. You've done your job just with the complete professionalism and expertise that, you know, we need to make a trip of this sort work. And Dave, all of us are immensely grateful to you, and we regard you now as a good friend, and we hope you're going to be with us in future. So Dave, thank you very much indeed.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Now, the second person I'd like to just pick out is Pete Ross. Pete, this very skinny, highly athletic and hugely talented bike rider. But you know, we get to this stage late in the day where suddenly we haven't got a driver. And there's a lot of people like me, we sort of think, oh, bloody hell. But we don't actually do a lot about it. But this man, he is proactive. We've got a problem, he seizes the problem, takes the responsibility, and he finds us this excellent guy, Dave. And Pete, thank you for being so proactive, and you know, thank you for introducing Dave to us. It's great that you were so positive and took the action you did, and a huge thank you for that.
Yeah, well done.
Now, the next one, this is a little embarrassing and incestuous really, but I do need to pay tribute to Susie. Susie she's performed this role on a number of sort of tours of this kind, and she's gained great expertise and knowledge as to what's needed and how to do it. But Susie, she's been our medical advisor, she's been the support car driver, she's been the treasurer, she's been the administrator, she's been the shopper at the supermarket, and she's been the preparer of all our meals. Susie love, you've made an immense contribution, and all of us are hugely grateful for the role you've played in making this trip the success it has been. Thank you very much. Now, the next person is Heinz. Heinz, the very charismatic, the too good looking, the too charming, the guy we all enjoy, the guy who knows how to do it all, including speaking very fluent French. But Heinz, you've been this intermediary, you've been this liaison man, and I know you played a huge part in booking all the hotels. But Heinz, you played a great role, and mate, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah,
real pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Heinz. Now, I think I also need to mention Grant and again Pete, because these guys, you know, tomorrow we're going to be having a late morning, having a nice lie in bed, a leisurely breakfast, and then we're going to be sitting on the aeroplane, reading our newspapers. But these guys, they've got 1,100 miles to drive that van back to Godalming. And that's, by anybody's standard, that's hard work. So guys, thank you very, very much for doing that. It's hugely appreciated. And, you know, it is a real bloody hard work chore. And thank you very much for doing it. So, the next guy to pick out is, of course, Brian. Brian with his points competition. And I think all of us have got to really look forward to these evening little chats by Brian. Brian, you do them superbly well. They're such fun. And they've become such a highlight of this. And Brian, you're so talented at it, love it, and thank you very, very much indeed. It's fantastic. But perhaps, you know, one of the big things is ourselves, and it's a thank you to all of us for what Gary will understand this term. In Australia, they use this word mateship, and you know, the mateship on this trip has been fantastic. The way that we've all just been such good friends, got on together so well, and supported one another. It is a wonderful thing. And, you know, perhaps of all the things for me, that is the thing that I will perhaps most take away. The warmth and friendship and help that everybody around this table has extended to me, and I think we've all extended to one another. It's been just the most fantastic experience. Now, a little self-indulgent aside. those of you at the club dinner last year will remember that I had the distinction of winning an award. And the award that I won was the 2012 Champion Wheel Follower. It was the only award that I got, but I was very proud to get it. And I've heard whispers that there's a possibility I will retain the championship, get it again next year. But I don't take anything for granted. So, as my colleagues in Team Escargot will vouch, I have been trying very, very hard to make sure I do win it again next year. And that in 2013 I will once again be awarded the Champion Wheel Follower Award. So that is my ambition, so I want all your votes. But, Grant, you said something that encouraged me a lot. You said that the great Boardman, Chris Boardman, the arguably the best short distance flat course time trialist the world has ever seen, that he's done all this research in all these wind tunnels with all these clever scientists, and that these scientists have said that the lead rider gets something like a 3% advantage by having someone sat tightly on their wheel. Apparently it's all to do with like the aerofoils on cars and the drag, the reverse drag or something. And so, you know, although I'm taking a lot from Marco and Mark and Brian and all these guys, I am giving a tiny little bit. So that makes me feel better. But seriously, you know, the team thing, everybody has played an enormous part in making this tour the enormous success it's been. It's been an epic adventure, and I think we've made friendships that will endure for the rest of our lives, and that's a fantastic thing. But, you know, we've got to save the most important thing for the last. And that is the part that Marco has played. Marco, our inspirational leader. Marco is the guy who had the vision. He is the guy who had the dream and then made this dream become a reality. And in doing so, the guy put in months and months of hard planning, hard work, preparation, organisation. And the other thing that, you know, perhaps not everybody's aware of is the amount of Marco's own resources that go into this. It's not only his time, it's all the stuff he's got around him. He puts all this in and he just does it, you know, so willingly, so openly, so generously. Marco, it is just fantastic what you do. And then you gave us this vision, you know, you talked to us about the pilgrims, you talked to us about Eugene Christophe, and I've got to say that at times during the ride, I thought about that, and I thought, bloody hell, Roger, come on, don't be such a wimp, get on with it. And I thought of that vision about making it all happen. Marco, technologically interested Marco, behind that machine, Marco, you have enriched our lives, all of us. These are the days of our lives, and Marco, it's all thanks to you. You are the guy who's made it all happen for us, and we will be eternally grateful to you. Marco, mate, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Here, here.